Howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it is time for some Path of Exile discussion. One thing I like to do in the middle of a league is put out a video on some of the best choices for items to double corrupt. That is, put them into the locus of corruption in an Alva temple for a slim chance of getting 2 Vile implicits on the item. You can probably tell by the screen that you see in front of you that we're going to be talking about Mjolnir. But the reason for that is interesting, because if you'd asked me this question 7 days ago, I most certainly would not have answered Mjolnir. But Grinding Gear Games have a series that they run of videos that they produce, they post to their YouTube channel, they're promoted in-game, and this is Build of the Week. Build of the Week puts out a showcase of various builds that players have created, that they've got guides for, and discuss some of the key mechanics that are involved in making that build work. Episode 3 of Season 11 was released 2 days ago, Friday my time, and that was Conocon versus Manabond Hierophant. Really recommend having a look at this video. I'll put a link to it down in the description below. One of the key things about this build is that it uses Mjolnir. It's quite a solid build, and it's also something that's quite interesting and plays differently to a lot of other builds. For this reason, lots of people have thought, you know what, I want to give that a try. And one of the key upgrades that makes the build flow better is if you can get a Mjolnir that is corrupted to have an increased attack speed corruption on it. As a result of this video recommending using this pretty rare unique with an uncommon corruption on it, all of the ones that are on the market at anything approaching a cheap price have sold. And this item with a 7% increased attack speed corruption on it is now in the 25 to 40 Divine Orb range. That is the reason that I'm recommending that you go and double corrupt Mjolnirs. Now if you decide you want to try and get in on this action and you start looking for uncorrupted Mjolnirs, you'll notice that the cheapest ones by far, at least once we get past the people who probably aren't going to sell, are item level 85 or above. The reason for this is that there is a couple of undesirable corruptions. For a one-handed mace, there are 7 different types of corruptions it can roll. There's percentage chance to gain an endurance charge when you stun, melee hits have a chance to fortify, percentage chance to gain onslaught on kill, increased area of effect, increased attack speed, and then we have 2 that are completely useless for a Mjolnir build in general. Adds flat physical damage and adds percentage physical damage. These are actually the most common corruptions because they have multiple tiers. So if we have a look at the flat physical damage, we have a level 1 version, a level 31 version, and a level 84 version. And if we look at the percentage physical one, we have a level 1 version and a level 85 version. Notice how the level 85 version has a weighting of 1000. This means it's quite a common corruption, and whilst it's something that is genuinely good on a lot of items, it is definitely not something you want on a Mjolnir. Likewise, we have one that is level 84 here for physical damage flat. Again, completely undesired, but this one's less important because it's only weighted at 250. So what you want to do is pay the extra premium in order to find a Mjolnir that is item level 83 or lower. If you can find one that's 83 or lower, that will ban the top tier of flat fizz, and it will ban the top tier of percent fizz. But you can also go for 84, where 5 to 7 to 10 to 12 physical damage is still an undesired roll, but it's relatively uncommon. And the more common mod that you don't want, 16 to 20% ink fizz, is not available as an option. Once you've got your Mjolnir, consider putting a harvest enchant on it, although they can be quite expensive, and then fire away with that double corrupt and hope. There are 4 different categories of outcomes that happen when you double corrupt an item. 1 time in 4 it's outright destroyed. 1 time in 4 it is re-rolled as a random rare. This will be a bad item. 1 time in 4 all the sockets are changed to white. And 1 time in 4 it will get the result you want, which is that up to 2 of its implicits are removed at random, and then 2 new implicits are added at random from the Vile Orb pool. Once you've done this, if you hit an attack speed corruption, congratulations, turn around and sell it, while Mjolnirs with increased attack speed are still very valuable. The key takeaway though from this video probably shouldn't be anything to do with Mjolnir itself. That information is true on the 29th of January when I'm recording this video, but if you're watching this in February or March or in 3.22 or something like that, then that information is going to be out of date. The key thing is that you should have a look for any time there is a sudden spike in demand for a specific corruption on a specific unique. Whenever that happens, that's when you want to be the person that's out there looking for ways to create that item, if doing so is economical, and turning around and selling them to all the people who already have lots of currency and who aren't really in a position where they need to be frugal. They just want to try out the new thing and they're quite happy to overpay by 10, 20, or even 50 divines to get the item that they want right now. May your Vile Orbs and your loci of corruptions have interesting results.